Nick Hart from Backstreet Boys.
Shout out to Boy Band Break.
It's Chris Kirkpatrick here. Shout out to your podcast, Boy Band Break.
Everybody, this is Howie D, and I'm listening to Boy Band Break.
Hi, Ashley Parker Angel here. Huge shout out to the Boy Band Break podcast.
This is Brad from LFO, and you are listening to Boy Band Break.
Hey, what's up? This is Jacob.
What's up? It's Dan.
What's up? It's Trevor.
And it's Eric Michael, and it's time for Boy Band Break, baby. Let's go!
Bam, 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 bam.
Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
Diane is not here today because she overslept and is not ready, and also did not watch this movie. So there you go. Anyways, she will be back in the next episode. Mm-hmm. So there you go. So for those, welcome to anyone who's new. So we are a boy band podcast. So we talk about all things boy bands.
And we have new episodes every Sunday on Anchor and on YouTube
and Spotify, Apple, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us. We have a link tree that has all the links there. So anyways, for those of you,
Ko-fi.
And a Ko-fi if you want to send us money so we can go to more concerts. And that is BOYBAND. BREAK. Okay.
Very weird stuff.
I love how you guys looked at each other.
I was just like, I was like, am I partially spelling this? I don't know.
You always spell it every episode, but okay.
That was great.
Anyways, it's only we're only 200 and something odd episodes in, and still can't remember how we do this. Anyways, so yes, obviously we talk about boy bands, we talk about concert reviews, album reviews, things like that, and movie reviews. So today,
what are we talking about today?
Well, don't worry, darling, I'll tell you.
And it's not just any movie reviews, it's boy banders in the movies. That's why we do it.
We're not wasting your time with non-boy band content.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you can go back, you can watch we have reviews on Long Shot, which is the boy band movie with everyone that Lou Prowan made. We have Nick Carter's Dead Seven. Kevin Richardson was in Vampire Bert's Serenade.
Oh my God.
There's so on a scale of what Vampire Bert's Serenade in, I'm trying to think of a good.
I'm like, what's movie. On the line?
Dead on the line. Good word. Don't worry, darling. Kind of falls midway, I suppose.
Are you sure it's midway?
It's not as. You know what? Nothing will ever be as bad as Vampire Bert's. Sorry, Kevin Richardson from the Backstreet Boys. That was a weird drug-fueled musical of.
It was like Rocky Horror.
I feel like I blocked it from my mind because it was so bad.
I believe when we watched
we still love you, Kevin. We still love you.
I mean, you know what? Being an actor, like as an actor myself,
he is now an actor. Yes.
Sometimes you got to take some chicken shit gigs, and that probably was not his finest moment, but he probably still got paid.
But I guess he's also he wanted to be a serious actor, so I don't know why he would choose that one. But hey,
true, yeah.
You're artistic. You have artistic things that you want to do.
Think of it this way.
Good for you.
I went to the Hamilton Film Festival, and they're like, I never walk out of a bad movie. And I'm like, oh, why would you say that? He's just like, because it got funded. Somewhere, someone thought this was a great idea, and they got money behind this. So if anything, that's an accomplishment in itself. So I was like, I never thought of it.
That's a good perspective.
That is a valid. There's only there's two movies that I wanted to walk out of but never did. Geely was number one, and I was like, it can't possibly get any worse. And then it just kept getting worse. It was the worst. It was just so bad.
Yeah.
And then we're all like, there was only like 5 of us in the theater. We're like, is this actually happening? Like, what is going on? Like, such a terrible movie. Yeah. Like the critics hate it. I was just like, oh, the critics, they hate lots of things.
They hate everything.
Like, no, this was justifiable. Yes. Gobble, gobble. Anywho, and then the other one was, God. A lot of people like this movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It came out recently in the summer.
Yeah.
It was
and all the good A-list actors are in it.
Yes, and I was just
that was the last movie Luke Perry was in, I believe.
Oof, is he in that? I guess he must. Yes. So, anyways, it was just not my cup of tea. I'm more of a rom-com type of person, a regular thing.
Which is fair.
My friend Alan has been taking me to a bunch of horror movies lately, and I was just like, these are terrible. And then half the time with the horror movies, there is not a happy ending. And then they just
There's
like
never a
die.
happy ending, is
Sometimes there is. Sometimes they beat the bad guy or whatever, and then they make a sequel and the bad guy comes back, and like see all the screams and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So you saw Smile recently?
Was it good? I heard about that one. Was it good?
It was creepy and interesting, but then that also you think you're like, yes, it's gonna be a happy end in the very last second.
But don't spoil it. What if people are?
Maybe it was a happy ending.
Speaking of bad movies,
anyways,
let's get back on track.
Moving on back to boy bands. So, as we had mentioned earlier, Vampire Bird Serenade definitely did not get any theatrical releases or anything. That was a weirdly low budget. I don't know how the hell.
Quick to DVD release.
Yes. But Don't Worry, Darling was actually a movie that was funded and has some celebrities in it, including the one and only Harry Styles from One Direction.
Ooh.
So yeah, I feel like we haven't really done a lot of One Direction stuff recently. It's been a while since anything. So Harry's moving along with his music career, doing well. And so I guess he's also done some acting. Do we want to look at what his acting credits are first?
Sure, let's do that.
So let us...
It'll give us content for next episodes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've done this. Okay, so first of all, I'll just do the quick Don't Worry, Darling IMDb page. So we're going to share this. So Sophia, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so it's Harry Styles and Florence Pugh. I can only
how do you say her last name?
It's Pugh. Florence Pugh.
I don't know how to say her last name.
Wow, I suck. Okay, anyways, I've already sorry, Florence. But anyways, so we're like, all right, is this actually going to have Harry Styles in it, or is it going to be one of those ones where they like, oh yeah, so and so is here, and then they're barely featured? No, he was actually one of the main. Well, obviously, character, but he was in it a lot. So there you go. So the synopsis on IMDb is a 1950s housewife living with her husband in a utopian experimental community, begins to worry that his glamorous company could be hiding disturbing secrets.
What? Oh no.
Alrighty, so that came out in 2022.
This year.
Yes, so Florence, she's Alice. Harry plays a gentleman named Jack, who is her husband. Chris Pine plays the guy named Frank, who is like the boss.
He's
Olivia Wilde, who is the director, is also in this movie.
Oh.
She plays the neighbor, Bunny.
Well, surely that she wouldn't have, an influence on this movie.
Yes, so and then so we got Margaret. So there's just a bunch of neighbors. I have this in my notes. For some reason, I thought he was Chris Kattan for a second. I was like,
he does look like him.
And I was like, Chris Kattan is way old. And then I was like, oh my God, it's Nick Kroll. I'm such an idiot. So Nick Kroll is also in the movie. He is married to Olivia Wilde, so they're husband and wife. And then this Shelley is married to Frank. So they're the leaders of the town, of the company. Margaret is, I'll get into it. She's one of the girls. She's married to, I believe, Peter, Asif Ali. And then the new people in town is Violet and her husband, Bill. So yeah, so these are just a bunch of people. So there you go. There's just not a lot of people in this movie, but yes. So anyways, so I'm going to stop sharing that. And then while do you want to see what Harry has been in before we, that's, while we are here, we are also going to see, because we're like, oh, is this Harry's first movie? And I said, no, it's not. He's definitely been in like a war movie for sure that I also have not seen, because that is not my jam.
That is not my episode. This is not the episode today.
Yes. So anyway, so I went to his IMDb, and apparently he has 66 credits.
Ooh, good for him.
So I guess we'll start at the bottom.
Did you know that you have to pay to be on IMDb?
You mean
$300 a year?
I'm on Sophia and I are on IMDb.
How you guys are on IMDb?
Because we're part
I didn't pay for anything.
We're part of the thing credits.
Right. That's why. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. For Backstreet Boys.
For Nick Carter's Dead 7 movie.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I paid for the higher tier that I could like get all this stuff, but then everyone who paid even $5 got them thank you credits, and I was like,
man,
I paid $60 for nothing. But
that's okay.
All right, so a lot of Harry's things are music videos.
Obviously,
so we have like X Factor finalist Help for Heroes, Super Pokemon Rumble. So I'm not going to go through all this. There's in a bunch of music videos. Was in they were on an episode of iCarly, which actually was a cute episode. That was cute. This is all their award shows and music videos and stuff. So 99% of Harry's stuff is One Direction.
Yeah.
His first movie, I believe. So then these start becoming his music videos, like Sign of the Times.
Oh,
Apparently, he's in a Toyota Thailand commercial.
Hey, whatever. Get that bag,
2016.
Harry.
So his first movie was Dunkirk in 2017.
Is that the war one you're talking about?
That's the war one, yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Then he's a bunch of appearances on
Gucci.
shows.
Met Gala.
Yes, because he's
he's
a
very stylish.
fashionista.
He is
So
kind
there
of,
you go. More music videos. So he's on something called Eternals.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Mm.
Um,
A show?
Is that a movie, I think?
possibly.
Possibly Marvel? I don't know.
The Saga of Eternals, a race of immortal beings who live on Earth and shaped history and civilization.
Okay, sorry.
In 2021. Yeah, it looks like it's Marvel.
Yeah. It's one of
Angelina
those like
Jolie and
hero-y vibes. Okay.
Yeah, so
good
he's,
for him.
I guess he just has like a small part in that one. He plays Eros.
Oh.
Then there's a couple more music videos. Then there's Don't Worry, Darling, which is what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Then something just got released in the last couple weeks or last month or so, and it's called My Policeman.
Oh, what is the synopsis on My Policeman?
If I'm not mistaken, it's about a guy who has a wife and has a boyfriend, but I don't know.
Wait. Okay, you didn't open the tab. You just refreshed the
I
page.
definitely did not open the tab. So it's there. The arrival of Patrick into Marion and Tom's home triggers the exploration of seismic events from 40 years previously. I don't know, but in the video,
Oh, is he like a throuple?
I don't know if it's supposed to be a throuple, but he's definitely kissing a guy and a girl in the trailer. So,
Okay.
yes. So,
Interesting.
There you
Okay.
go. I don't know if you can see
Okay.
that.
You know what? Good on
okay.
you, dude.
So I'm like, that could be good movie. Maybe
Yeah.
We'll see that. But anyways, that is not
From what the fans are saying, this one is way better. So
Yes. So
Really?
this one is available on Prime Video. So, so you
Okay.
like look.
Oh.
Not watching. They just started making out, you guys. So I'm assuming it's about not being allowed to be gay back in the olden days, and then getting married to a wife, and then having this man come back into his life. I don't know.
What the police
Not
has to
the
do with
movie.
it, we will never know unless we watch it.
And the last thing I just wanted to share, because I thought it was hilarious, is his last credit is a music video. It's called Music for a Sushi Restaurant, and he plays Squid Merman.
Okay.
Okay. That's
You know what? I just want to click and see if
God
it's a-
bless. Oh, yeah, he's a
Is that
squid
him?
merman.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
that's good.
yeah.
And there's a
I-
cast.
I get there's a top
My
cat.
man.
It's my man.
man.
Some other people play prawns apparently. So there you go. I have no idea.
That's interesting.
God
Music
bless.
for a sushi restaurant.
bless.
Okay, good. You know what, Harry? Good on you for not taking yourself
That's
seriously.
right.
Get that money. Get that money.
Get that bag.
Doing
Get that
whatever you
bag.
want.
Yeah,
So.
queen.
But yeah, like good for him. I have to say, as I've said in the past, I have given Harry an unfair.
Oh right.
Right when One Direction was around, I was just like, "Oh, Harry's gonna be the one that Justin Timberlake's out of this group."
Yeah, you were very mean
What
to
I was-
him, and he
and
didn't do
he
anything.
did
It
not.
was Zayn.
It was Zayn. So you know what, Harry, good on you. And for the most part, he seems like a upstanding guy, nice guy, whatever. Nice guy, whatever. No, he just
People
seems like
seem to love
not-
him.
people
People
love
seem to
Harry.
love him.
he doesn't
He's
seem to be
the-
an asshole.
He's the David Bowie of our time.
He's very like what's that other guy's name? Mick Jaggery. I feel like. He kinda
Yeah.
reminds
Mick Jagger, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah,
of
like,
his, like,
no
style
gender
and
constructs. Like
stuff,
he's really
yeah.
cool, fashion, you
Yeah.
know, arts.
There you go.
man.
Enjoy your life,
That's
Harry. Live in your life. Okay.
Enjoy your life. Because we
All
did
right.
not enjoy ours watching this movie.
Oh, yikes!
Ah!
Yikes! It was yeah,
Okay,
close that
so-
door.
Okay, sorry. Wow, that was like that escalated very fast. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
We
Okay, go ahead.
watched it. What?
I'm just closing this so it doesn't make noise.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. So we watched it on Crave in Canada. So I have Bell 5, and that is an option there. So there you go.
Yes.
So
Hooray!
it's subscription. I don't know how you can watch in the States. I'm sure it's available.
Probably
everywhere.
Paramount Plus or something.
Probably. I feel like a lot of Paramount Plus and Crave go together.
Paramount Plus is just like
Anywhere. Anyways, so what I found was interesting is that it actually gives you a little bit of a rating at the top. So when you like click on the movie, apparently according to Rotten Tomatoes,
oh
the critics have this at 38%,
Ooh, I heard that's bad, right?
That's one of the bad ratings.
Yes.
100%
It
is like, wow, this is a lights out amazing movie.
yes.
Lower
this was-
percentage.
Yeah. So, but the audience put it at 74%. Now, I don't know if that just means the audience liked this movie, or more likely they were Harry Styles fans.
And
who
they're just like,
yes, everything he does is great. Every little thing he does is
That's
magic.
probably what it was. But hey, if you like the movie, good on you as well.
Yes. So I watched this last night after I went out to dinner with Josh and his boyfriend.
I watched
and
the
then-
pitch meeting, and so I have limited knowledge, so I'm going to be
Oh, do you
relying
wanna-
heavily on
Do you
you.
remember what the pitch meeting? Do you,
No,
Lydia
no,
sent
no,
this
no.
like
I'm
clip
not-
of
yeah.
the pitch meeting, and it was just like, oh,
So I was like,
it was pretty funny comedy.
Yeah,
thing.
no,
It's
I
It was
love
pretty
his-
funny. Yeah.
his commentary, if you just look like pitch meeting and then whatever movie,
He's like, we're
he's
gonna
done
do
it.
this, and then
It's
then
like,
this happens. Like, oh, is this gonna happen? No, we're not gonna address that again. And then
yeah, like it's a guy talking to himself, but like he's dressed as a businessman and he's dressed as like a director, right? And usually it starts off with, so you have another movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. Okay then, right? And then they're just like, then they talk banter back and forth about the movie, and it's usually like kind of like ripping it apart,
it
and
was pretty funny.
it's so.
Yeah, it was very funny. Yeah.
I recommend looking up pitch meeting and then whatever movie is your favorite, and then he'll just probably rip it apart, and it's hilarious in a good way. It's
Remember
funny.
they used to do that? Was it Bunnies or something? It was like a cartoon like synopsis. It was like a 1 minute like movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there was some with Twilight and stuff. It was pretty funny. Anyways,
Cute.
so yeah, people are funny. Not us.
People are funny.
funny.
I think we're funny.
Very funny.
Anyway.
Okay, so
All right.
so take us into the journey.
So I'm just to save everyone else the trouble of watching this movie.
Yeah.
I took notes, so I'm just
Thank
going
you.
to
Yes.
tell you what happens in this movie.
All right,
So
perfect.
there you
All
go.
right.
I was not saved because I needed to watch it. But yes.
So
Go ahead.
as I was saying, I started watching this with Alan at like 11-ish last night, and then we got maybe 10 minutes in, and then Dad came, and then also for some reason would like to buy a pony. That was
My dad?
My dad's a little insane.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he,
Sounds about right.
he came in because he was having issues with WhatsApp. And, oh yeah, you called around that time.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I think I'm gonna buy a pony." And we're like, "Why
I mean,
would
that
you
sounds on
buy a
brand for him.
pony?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Wait, so you just ride it in the backyard?" And I'm thinking, this large man is gonna ride a pony. This poor pony is gonna collapse. So I think I'll buy this thing.
But why did he like think of that?
Pony of all things. And he's like, "Well, Mariana has a donkey." I was like,
Well, we should get a donkey then.
I would also like to point out that we do not live on a farm, guys. Like, we
We live
have
in
a
a
very
city.
big backyard.
Well, you have a backyard at least.
And there's no fences. And we've had sheep and goats in the past.
And they escape.
And
Surprisingly.
he's because my dad didn't want to cut the grass. So we got some sheep and goats. And it's a long story. Anyways, has nothing to do with this. So
No.
then we're like, okay. So then we start watching the movie again. Then Jimmy comes and starts talking for half an hour. And I was just like, is this a fucking party at midnight at my house? I
Oh
was
my
like, what is
God.
going on? So basement. so
Never
then-
a dull moment.
and Alan went out for smokes, and I was just, oh my
Of course
god,
I
can
did.
we just like start this stupid ass movie? So
Yeah.
then, and then I was like writing notes. So my notes are very scribbly and hard to read because I was also very tired. But anyways, okay, let's set the scene, shall we? It just abruptly starts,
Okay.
Yes.
and it's kind of like a 1950s alcohol party, is what I wrote down.
Okay.
And I go, is that Chris Kattan? I'm like, oh no, it's Nick Kroll, because obviously I told that. And then yes, so they're having this party, and they're like, oh, here's some drinks, and oh, you're pregnant, you get extra drinks. Like, it was just like,
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, why are you giving drinks to a pregnant person?
like, oh, the 50s, you're crazy. You
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
about fetal alcohol syndrome.
Ah.
So anyway, so they do that, and then after, and I think the party is at their house.
Whose house?
Jack and Alice.
Jack and Alice,
Oh,
the two main
okay,
characters.
okay.
And then they go for a drive in this like field, or it's a desert, and they're doing
Desert,
donut.
yeah, desert.
So they're like donating. Oh, and there's like clouds of dust. Oh, you're hilarious. Oh, my eyes are closed. Oh, and then she's like, so it's like, oh, what a cute little couple who are in love and making out all the time. Okay, so then Alan's commentary. This is literally his only comment for the movie, was about Harry Styles, and he said he's so good looking, but he's too pretty to turn me on. And I was like, what an odd thing to say. He's like,
What an odd thing for a
He's
gay man
just
to
like-
say.
he's just like, he's just too good looking to
Okay.
put. I'm like, okay.
Oh, like it's like I can never reach those
I don't
standards.
know. He's
or
just
something.
too pretty. He's too good looking. Like, I'm not turned on. I was like,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
I can see that.
I'm like,
guess.
I'll write that down as a note.
Okay.
So then like it's the morning. So the boys, they all have their like 1950s cars, like those colorful ones. So they all go to work and their wives had packed their lunches and waved them off.
Because it's like a Stepford Wives.
Yes, it's very Stepford Wivesy. So then the girls are they're cleaning their house.
Nice.
And then they all get on the trolley to go to ballet class. So they're like going to ballet. So it's like they do shit together. So they live in like this community, and it's called the Victory Project. It's the community that they live in. So while they're there at the ballet class, they're like, oh, a new employee has started, and here's his wife to join us. Her name is Violet, la la la. They're like, okay. So they're all like doing ballet. So then it cuts to her house, and she's like making her husband like a steak dinner or something. And she goes to like get the eggs.
Yeah.
But then the eggs are empty.
Oh.
Yeah, like she like crushes it with her hand. Yeah.
With her hands, and she's like, oh, that's weird. And then like so they don't really explain it. Alan's like, maybe it's because her eggs are empty because she has no kids, because there was other kids, and it was just like, well, just probably reasoning. So anyway, so she makes this dinner, and then Harry Styles
with no eggs.
Yeah, I don't know. She just crushes a whole bunch of eggs. She doesn't.
And then like,
yeah,
I don't know. That happens a lot throughout the movie. You're like, okay, they're gonna address it, and then they don't really address these things.
So it's just like a little weird occurrence that happens, and she's just like, huh. Anyway, so then, so she has all this dinner on the table for her and her husband, and he comes home, and he has appetizer before dinner.
Like shrimp?
No, like vagina.
What?
He goes right in there. He's like, they start making out, and then and he just goes in under the skirt, and then Alan's like, thank God I did not watch this movie with my mother, and he's just like,
oh,
it escalated very quickly, very fast, and I was just like, oh my God,
extremely quickly.
Okay,
so, yeah, he's like pushing shit off the table, and I was just like, the steak is gonna fall, and then
not the steak. Okay, so
I feel like you would appreciate this
because when I was reading a lot of articles about the drama that we're going to get into later, they mentioned this a lot. This like
female
scene.
Pleasure.
Yes, they're like, oh, this is like the most important. This is the pinnacle part of the movie.
Show that women. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. So like, and then Olivia Wilde said some weird things about that, and I was like, oh my God, why are you like promoting the movie like this? Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that.
Okay.
But yes, but yeah, it was just like, okay, well, we're going in, man. We're just going in.
Yeah, it's that kind of movie.
Oh my.
Thankfully, Dad had gone to sleep at that point.
Thank God, that would have been so.
He's gonna go dream of ponies.
Because he gets freaked out when like people kiss in a movie. He's like, ugh, why they do that? That's gross.
It's awkward watching that stuff with your parents.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially when your parents are like Italian immigrants who are just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was just
Catholic.
I was
Italian
just like,
immigrants.
oh Jesus! I was like, oh, they talked about this. So I figured, okay, this will be the only case of that.
No.
Okay, so then now they're at a pool party at the boss's house.
Okay.
To welcome the new couple.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So they're all there. There's these like creepy little kids giving them drinks. So then there's like a hole in the garage. And this, by the way, this is like a gigantic pool. It looks like it's like like at a hotel or something. Like it's such a big thing. This
nice guy.
So they have that. They have all their little lounge chairs. They're all in their little like cute bikinis and like full pieces. And then the neighbor bunny is like chain smoking. So Alice kind of goes for a walk, and then he has kind of like a garage type thing. And in there, he actually has like a whole. Remember how they used to do in the olden days? They used to do models.
Oh, like model trains or whatever?
It was like a model of like their development or something. So it has all their little houses and stuff, and it's all in this cute little thing.
And like the little people.
They didn't really have people, but they had that. But then they had like this road that went out of town, and even on the thing, it's like, do not go past here. This is dangerous. Blah blah blah. So she's just like finger walking her way through the town, and was all like, oh, what's this leading to? Blah blah blah. Anyways. And you're like, oh, foreshadowing.
Yeah. Special place.
So anyway, so then they're at this party, and then Margaret is there. She's the African American. And she just like starts like kind of like freaking out. And she's like, why are we here? Why are we here? Like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what is
so this is like another foreshadowing.
Starts, like freaking out.
Oh.
So then her husband's like, oh dear, everything is fine. And then they kind of like take her kind of away. So it's like, oh, let's just like, because he's like going on about how wonderful it is that they're part of this community. So he's like, oh, sorry. First of all, so this is Chris Pine, right? Okay, what else is Chris Pine in?
He's been in Star Trek. He was Captain Kirk.
Does his face always look like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because his face looked very plastic.
Well, I'm sure they probably like.
Yeah, they probably put like something on it.
Yeah, because he's supposed
Did
to.
he not look weird to you?
He did look weird, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's probably meant to look that way because he's like, I'm the leader, I am perfect.
But I was just like, I'm like, did he do something to his face? And then as the like, Margaret, why are we here? He's like, what are we doing here? We're changing the world. And they're like, changing the world. And they're all like chanting about how wonderful it is. That we're
It's a cult.
Yeah.
It's very like culty. And then he goes on to thank the wives for everything that they do. And they're like, without you, like cooking and cleaning and stuff and taking care of us men, well, we're at the end of the day, we come home and we're there. Like, so he like lays it on really thick about like how important the wives' roles are and all this stuff. So we're like, okay. So then after like this area, then Alice is kind of walking around and Margaret's in like a little room and they're hiding me. She's like, I keep getting all these bad dreams, like whatever. And then before Alice can do anything.
Speak to more to here.
So then she kind of just like walks away. I don't really know what happens, or they close the door or something like that. So she goes to find her husband, Jack, who is for some reason upstairs in his boss's bedroom, trying on a tie.
Ew.
So
That's
he's
weird.
trying on a tie.
Uh-huh.
And she goes to go fix it, and then this now needs him to start making out with his wife
Yes.
and finger banging his wife
In his boss's bedroom.
in his boss's bedroom. So she's up on like the cabinet, and he's going all in there.
His hairstyle again.
Hairstyles again, hand under the dress, going at it while making out with his wife
Okay.
and whatever. And I'm just like, well, okay, I guess this is this kind of movie. I guess this is I'm like, that's two incidents in a very.
I mean, I feel like that's an HR incident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But
it's his own wife
no, I know, but in his boss's house,
in
like
his boss's
that's-
house.
The boss is like creepy, is a creepy guy.
The boss kind of like looks in and he's just like, and she
Yeah.
sees the boss looking and he's all like, and like kind of like, and then like, and she's
Yeah.
like, all right, my husband's finger banging me right now. I guess I'm just gonna whatever. So then he
God
like
bless his
walks away,
enthusiasm,
and I was just like, what is happening?
And Olivia Wilde is the director, but aren't they boyfriend and girlfriend, Harry Styles and her?
IRL, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, they were.
So then you're like, what the hell? Yeah.
like, yes, please, I need to test this out. Like, I don't know.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was just weird.
So, anyway, so that happens. So now they're no longer there. So now they're at. Was it a fashion show or like a store?
I feel like it was a fashion show.
So it was kind of like, so it's like the pregnant lady, Alice, the neighbor bunny, who's Olivia Wilde. They were all like hanging out and like gossiping in this like room while this chick is like wearing clothes. Like, oh yes, we'll charge one of that to our cards, or like, to try clothes or whatever. So now they start talking shit about Margaret.
Wait, okay, sorry. When you cover it, you keep people.
They're talking shit about Margaret, who's the lady who was like freaking out.
Yeah.
Oh, so then I guess it kind of has like a backflash to her story. So it shows Margaret with her son.
So Margaret is the African American lady.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but she's the one who's kind of like whatever. So it shows her son, and she like, cause she keeps holding this airplane, and you're like, what the hell is the point of this airplane? Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Like a toy airplane. So it shows that she took her son to the desert, like past the "Do Not Go Here" sign.
Uh-oh.
And they start going, and they have this like the airplane was on a string, and then like the son was just gone.
Oh.
And he's never seen from again.
Oh.
Right.
So maybe they killed the son, like the people in this town.
So it's just like they're like, oh, she should have gone there, blah blah. So in the meantime, so they're like, oh, what the hell, Margaret? Why would she even do this? So then Alex, she keeps getting these black and white visions of like dancers and things like that. There's just like these weird images that kind of, but she just like comes back or whatever. And they're like, what's wrong, Alex? She's like, oh, everything's fine, whatever, type thing, right? So then she decides she's gonna go on this bus or trolley by herself because she's like cleaning her house. Because every day it's the same thing, cleaning. She keeps hearing Frank's voice. So I don't know if everybody hears Frank's voice. Frank is the boss. Or if she's just like, it kind of sounds very brainwashy, like a little TV is on. He's just saying all this shit. So she decides she just needs to get out of the house. So she like goes on the bus or the trolley by herself. So it's just her and the trolley driver, and he's like going down whatever. And then he's like, "Oh, you're not going shopping today?" Because I guess she didn't get off at the stop or whatever. She's like, "No, I'm just going for a ride. Just need to get out of my house." So as she's doing this, she sees this like airplane, which is like red toy, and it like flies over the desert thing, and then like kind of crashes behind a mountain. So she's like, "Dude, we gotta go. Like, what the heck?" And then the trolley guy was all like, "This is my route. I can't leave my route." And she's like, "You need to go. Like, what if they need help?" And he's like, "Well,
yeah, it was weird." I was like, "Oh my god!"
Like, so she's like, "What? You're a horrible person." So she's like, "I'm getting off." So she gets off and starts walking through the desert.
Oh, that's smart.
To a mountain very far in the back. So, needless to say, it's also hot. So she gets very like hot and dizzy and shit like that. So then she like, and it's so she's on the other side because the thing would have crashed on the other side of the mountain.
Right.
So she ends up like going and walking up this like spiral road to get to the top, and there's this like building at the top.
I'm assuming in high heels and all that stuff too.
Yes, of course, yes. So he says so. Anyway, so she climbs up. Nobody's there. So then she like, so the building has like glass wall. So she puts her hands on it. And it like lights up, and you see like blood, like vision of like blood, like a blood drop type thing.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up and she's in bed.
How about that?
So she's like, "What the heck?" And then so she's waked up, all confused. And meanwhile, in the time, her husband Jack Harry Styles is cooking dinner for her.
He's cooking dinner.
He came home
in a
from work
1950s,
and she's just like, "Oh, what the heck?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "No, I will cook dinner for you." And then I think they make out again. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like getting whatever.
There's a lot of making out for some reason.
A lot of making out, yes.
God bless. All right.
Anyway, so the next day, she's cleaning, and as she's cleaning like this big glass wall that she cleans every single day, it like suddenly starts closing.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's a hallway, but suddenly she's like trapped, and it's like. So she's just like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, then her like cheek is like squished to the wall. I was like, "What the?"
Wall, and she's just like there. So then the phone rings. So it kind of like snaps it out of in the wall, like goes there, and it was Margaret calling. So she like hangs up on. She's like,
"Did you have a wall
She's
come
like,
in?"
"No." She's trying to like warn her or whatever. She's like, whatever. She's like, "I can't talk to you, you're crazy," like type thing, and like hangs up on Margaret. So now they're at ballet class, and then whatever, doing their thing, and then she just. Because she keeps getting these visions. Now she's starting to just randomly do her own moves that nobody else is doing.
It's a metaphor.
And then she sees like in the mirrored wall, she sees Margaret on the other side, like
yeah,
it's like a reflection. So she starts like going closer to it, and then like
they like touch hands.
And then Margaret like headbutts the mirror or something. And then the mirror like shatters, and so she screams, and there's like a broken mirror, and everybody in ballet class is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Type thing. So then she now goes to Margaret's house because she's just like, "What the hell is going on?" Like, and Margaret is standing there with this little toy thing in her backyard, which is kind of like on a little bit of a hill. Like her house is a little bit on a hill. So she sees her. So then she kills herself.
Who does?
Margaret by
Margaret, yeah.
Slits her throat and then falls backwards. And then these guys in red jumpsuits come out and take Margaret away. So Alex is like, "What the fuck?" And now she's feeling guilty that she wasn't listening to Margaret. And now, like, whatever. So she like, when Jack comes home, she's like, "What the fuck? Like, what's going on?" Like, anyways, he gets in a fight with her. He tells her to get a hold of herself. She's like, "Margaret's dead. Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening?"
Get a hold of yourself.
Get a hold of yourself, lady.
Hell?
Blah, blah, blah. So then she keeps having more visions. And then she's, for some reason, starts like, I guess they had like some leftovers. So she starts saran wrapping her leftovers. Then she just saran wraps her own head.
Yeah, like weird things like this
like,
happen in the movie.
You can see her like kind of breathing there, and like, and then she decides, "Oh, maybe I don't want to die." So she like pulls herself out of the saran wrap. So then, needless to say, this concerns her husband.
Obviously.
Yes.
So he calls the town doctor or the project doctor to come over. He says that she's exhausted and that there's pills that she should take. So then she asks about Margaret, and he's like, "Oh, she's fine. Everything's wonderful." And she's like, "She's not fine." He's like, "Oh no, we cured her." And then
we cured her. She just died.
The hell?
I don't know what the scribble is, but anyways, essentially he's like, no, she's fine. And he's like, "No." And then he's like, "Stole a boat."
Stole a boat?
Oh, stole a book. So he had left his briefcase behind. So she took like a thing out of it. And the doctor came back. She's like, "Oh, you forgot your briefcase." And he's like, "Oh, okay." But then you realize that she had taken this like notepad out from under there, and it was a thing about Margaret. Actually, it was like a case file.
Like a file. Yeah.
So she obviously she doesn't have her husband doesn't know that she's found this. So then she's in the tub and she's having more visions of like random things. So then Harry now has decided that he wants to have a baby, even though they're so happy about like how they don't have kids and everybody else has kids and they just like banging each other all the time. So
pretty fun.
Like, I don't want a baby right now. I'm good. So
like, I'm guessing like Frank like brainwashed him.
Probably. Yeah.
So then he goes under face looking at her in the bathtub. Oh, she like is in the bathtub and there's mirrors around it, and which I thought was, I don't know if you caught this, Sophia. I actually rewound this. So like there's obviously the reflection and then she goes under the water type thing. But one of the faces does not like go, it just turns to look at the camera. So it's like one of those like little weird little
I did catch that. That was weird. Yeah.
I was like, that's weird. So anyways, so now they're at this like fancy gala.
Oh, nice.
So the husband's like, "Oh, I got you a dress. Oh, sweet. Fancy gala.
Nice.
And you'll appreciate this because there was burlesque happening at this, and the burlesque dancer was Dita Von Teese.
No way.
So she was doing her martini glass.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. So she was there.
I really need to watch this movie, even though it's kind of crazy. I
know. I feel like you would actually not mind this movie.
I think you might like it actually.
Aspects to it that you probably would like.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so anyway, so she's like, so I guess Jack is getting like an award, a promotion and an award. So Frank has him up on stage, but Alice is like, she wants to go. She's like, "I want to go home," and her husband's like, "No, like
I'm getting an award. Like, shut up."
She's like, "Whatever." So then he goes, he gets a promotion, and for some reason he's dancing on stage very weirdly.
Oh my God, this was so weird.
Dance like him and Frank are dancing, and then just he's dancing, and it was just like, it's just weird. So anyways, Alice is now in the bathroom.
Okay.
So Bunny, the neighbor, who's Olivia Wilde, tries to calm her down. So she starts like explaining like what's happening to her, like these visions and what she saw with Margaret and all that stuff. And the neighbor freaks out on her and is like, "You're acting like a fucking baby. This is your husband's big day.
Oh, wow.
You should go out there and not stop being like ridiculous type thing." So anyway, so
she was quite
so bitchy. The next day they're at her house. So they're at Alice and Jack's house. And then Frank, who's like the leader of this stuff, it comes while she's making food, comes in and is all like,
he's very creepy.
He's very creepy. And he's like, "Sorry, Bunny didn't believe you," right? Which is the neighbor.
Oh no.
But didn't believe you about Margaret.
Oh no.
And then he's like, "I'm happy that you're challenging me. Not everyone challenges me." And he's just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, "Are you okay, sir?"
So she's like kind of rattled. So they have like a table. So obviously like the boss sits at one end and Harry was supposed to sit at the other end, but she goes and sits there and he's all like, "Okay, whatever, my wife." So they're just kind of like looking at each other across the table.
So sneaky.
And points out. So then she starts pointing out wife similarities. Because she's just like, "New girl, how did you and your husband meet? Did you meet at this, blah, blah, blah?" And like everybody else kind of met the same way on a train to Boston and you dropped a ticket and things. She's like, "It's very similar that we all have the same stories and we just happen to all end up in this town. Like what?" Like, so she starts like pointing out all these similarities. And then Frank tells everyone that she went to headquarters, which is that thing on the thing. So then everyone
the desert, right?
Yeah, the desert thing. So he like just like, "Well, you know what? She's going crazy because she went to headquarters," and they're like, "Oh my God!" And so now they think that she has like she's having some psychosis from that. So that's what. So he's trying to make her out to be crazy type thing. So then somebody freaks out about. So then she starts freaking out about the food and where it comes from. Like, where's this food coming from? How do we even know like what's in this? What if this is like making us like fucked or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's like, whatever. So then everybody leaves this dinner party because she's acting like a nutcase.
Oh, okay.
What is she?
Dun, dun,
this is the question.
So then Jack's like, "So you planned this whole evening to sabotage me? Like, what the hell? Like, why are you doing this?" And she's like, "No, I believe in you. I don't believe in him, so she doesn't believe in Frank or his visions. And she's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, we need to leave now.
Like the Victory Project.
Yeah.
Like this Victory Project. I don't believe in any of this shit. Whatever. Like, let's go. Like, you drive. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like, so she goes and like packs a couple of things and some snacks. So they get in the car. So she's in the car and she's like, okay, we're good. Like, I got the shit. Let's go. And he's just like sitting there. And then she's like, come on,
he doesn't want to go.
Like,
he doesn't want to go.
And then he's like all sad. And then he just starts saying like, I'm sorry. And she's like, what the fuck? And then the red jumpsuit guys come to take her. And he's just like, I'm sorry. And then like they take her out and then he's just like crying in the car. Like, oh my God. Like, whatever.
I just surrendered my way.
Okay. So you think this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Buckle in, buddy.
What?
It gets weirder.
We're at 40 minutes. How much weirder could it possibly get?
We're near the end.
Okay.
We're more than. Anyway, so now she's tied to a gurney.
Okay.
So you're like, okay. So she's like, whatever these people are doing, whatever. And then she starts having flashbacks.
Oh, they're coming back.
So she starts having flashbacks that so Jack was fired.
Oh, that sucks.
But then
out of a cannon.
Doctor leaves the like gurney room, whatever, and pulls out a cell phone.
Oh, from the 1950s? They didn't have those back then.
No, because it's modern day time.
What? She's on a gurney in modern day times?
Anyway.
So they flash back to 1950s and the modern times.
And it just keeps going back and forth, and you're just like, what the fuck? Then you realize this doctor person is her.
She's a doctor now?
Or a nurse or something.
Yeah.
So she has a cell phone. And she like comes home. Carry on. The hell, I
She's
cannot
whispering
read these
to herself.
I'm trying to understand what my words say because apparently I turned into a doctor and started writing these things.
Harry has.
So she comes home and Harry is on a computer doing things on a computer because this is modern time. And they somehow managed to make him ugly.
Yeah, that was also something that was written about.
They gave like him like zits and shit. Like they came like he has like ugly glasses, ugly nerd with glasses.
Oh
like
no.
It's just like so he's on a computer. So then it kind of keeps flashing back and it's like him lost the job. She's like, don't worry, I'll pull in extra shifts, blah blah blah. So this is actually modern times. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
So she's remembering modern times in 1950s.
I said not hot hair. Okay, so he's not hot. So then he's like tries to put the moves on her, and she's still in her scrubs, and she's like, oh, no hot water, no hot. So she like turns on the thing. She's like, oh, is the hot water still shut off? He's like, yeah, the guy couldn't come yet, but he'll come like tomorrow. And then he starts like trying to like, hey, maybe we should have some sexy time. And she's just like, dude, I just came off a 30-hour shift.
Jesus!
I have no hot water.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking exhausted. Yeah. And I have to go to work tomorrow. I have to go to work in 6 hours. So
oh my God. Okay.
So she's
no
like,
sexy time for you.
She's irritated and she goes to bed.
Well, fair enough.
So then Nerd Alert goes back to his computer. And Frank has like a podcast or something.
Oh no. Is
so
it like Return of Kings?
Like listening to is it who?
Return of Kings. Okay, sorry. The Return of Kings. Okay. If you guys know what an incel is like, those guys. There's like a social movement in like today's era called Return of Kings where they want to like go back to 1950s times where like men were like the breadwinnings and women stayed home and all that stuff. So that's kind of what Return of Kings means.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, so anyways,
oh God.
So anyways, he's listening to this podcast and it's talking about
like no women's rights, none of that. Like
but it's not really that's not really what it's like, you want to take care of your wife, you want to do all this shit for like it was just kind of like anyway, so welcome though she's back. I don't know what that means. Oh, welcome home. So there's a big sign that says welcome home.
Okay.
Because she goes back to so now we're back in the 50s.
Oh.
So she's like, oh, you went to this, you're now cured after going to this like treatment facility or retreat or whatever. So the neighbor's all excited that she's back, and she's like, "Oh, I have all the gossip." Like, so she starts going back to her routine. Like she's cleaning, she's doing all the shit. He goes to work in the morning, whatever. But now she keeps flashing back to this bed and being strapped in. And then in this strapped in bed, she has these like eye thingies that pop her eyes open, and there's like a laser that scans over and does things.
Oh,
so it's like a
God.
start. So it's like simulations. So then she starts like freaking out about this weird simulation.
Yeah.
So then she realizes what
Yeah.
had happened was in the modern times, he like went to this like creepy hotel. I don't even know what the hell it was, like apartment. And then so she's strapped to this bed all the time with the stimulation. And then he only comes back at night and like comes in as well. And he also puts on it, but he's not strapped down.
Does
But
he
also
like eye
does it.
drops and stuff?
It's like a weird thing that opens your eyes. And it's just
How
like
does she
whatever.
poop?
So anyway, so she's realizing that that this whole 1950s thing is a simulation.
No.
And that they're actually in modern time, and she's just fucking strapped to this bed 24/7 in this simulation.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she's like, you took away my life. And then he's like, I gave you all of this. Like, this is all for you. I did all this for you because you were so stressed out at work and stuff. And she's like, so he's like, I have to leave every day to make money to pay for this thing.
But she was making money.
Yes.
As a
so apparently, I don't know what the
nurse.
fuck he's doing in normal time to make money.
I thought he was fired.
He was, but I guess he was he didn't want her to be upset, and he wanted to pleasure her or all this other shit. So he's like, what a great thing to do is to kidnap my wife and strap her down and make her think we're in the 50s.
Yeah.
But then I have to leave every day because I can't afford this thing, and I have to make money so we can do this.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, it was very strange.
He's like, it's all good. We're perfect now. And she's like,
we're not perfect.
You made me feel like I was, I don't know what that means.
This is fantastic.
I'm sorry. She's like AMY. I don't know. Like a baby. I don't know what the fuck. She make you feel like he took away her choice. Like she didn't want this.
Yeah, of course.
And he's like, I didn't want to have to lie to you anymore. So now this is good. So now you know that we're in a simulation and stuff like that. And then she's like, so the wives are all here. So everybody else in the simulation, there's like 72 couples or whatever. The wives are all like, don't know that their husbands are doing this. Right. And then she's like, what the fuck? What about the kids? And they're like, the kids aren't real.
Oh no.
And then he starts like hugging her and he's like, oh, I did all this for you. And he's like fucking like squeezing her, like hugging her to death pretty much. And she's like, dude, like fucking let go. And then he won't. So she's like trying to like whatever. So she eventually gets like a glass and like smashes it, hits him with the glass, and he falls over.
Good.
Like so
in real life?
In the 50s.
In the 50s, okay.
So then he's now like dead and bleeding.
Yes.
And the neighbor comes in and she's like, what the fuck did you do? And she's like, what are you talking? She's like, he's dead here, which means he's also dead in the real world.
Cool.
So you've killed him in the real world. And she's like, how do you know all this? And she's like, I know everything. I'm the one who wanted to sign up for this. Like, so Bunny knew.
Oh no.
And made her husband do this. And she's like, you need to leave right now or they will kill you. Because like Jack said, you need to get out of here.
How do the guys in the red suits not know this?
So like, this is all happening very quick. So,
my.
So then she's like, well, then like, why the fuck are you even here? Like, why would you choose this life for yourself? And she's like, because here I get to keep my kids. And, you know, like I chose this. So I guess in real life, Bunny's kids died or something in an accident. So for her to cope, she joined this thing. But apparently none of the other wives know what's going on.
Oh, no.
So none of the wives know. So she's like, what the fuck? So she comes out, she's wearing a white dress and there's like blood like on her. And she comes out and then all the lights start exploding and stuff.
No.
And all the neighbors are like, what's going on? And the husbands are all like, ah! Because the husbands are like, can't let the wives know.
Yeah.
So then she's like, just fucking. So Bunny's like, go. So she finally gets in the car and starts driving. Then the red suit guys come. The red jumpsuit guys are coming and they start chasing her. So they're like chasing. So she needs to get back to the headquarters in the desert. So, so they're all like, oh, and there's like a garbage truck. Oh, it's a speed chase in these. So then the doctor is coming towards them and like to kind of stop her. So then she ends up putting on the brakes. And then the other guys crash into the doctor. So the doctor and the 4 red suit guys are gone. So then she like continues her journey and then more red suit guys are coming. So she's like,
yeah, it was crazy.
And she kind of smashes her car into the side of the mountain. So she has to go on foot.
Oh no.
And then takes a million years, then stops to kind of look and then sees all these like red suit guys coming up. And we're just like,
yeah, it's weird.
So then she finally gets to the top of this hill. They're chasing her. She's at the top. She's like a couple of feet away from pressing her, getting through this building. And then Jack, is there. And he's like hugging her from behind. He's like, don't leave me. Like, I did this for you. Don't leave me. Stay here with me, blah, blah, blah. So then they flash back to being in bed again, and then it's there, and then now suddenly he's gone because he's dead. So he's not. So it's just like, so she realizes he's not actually there.
Okay.
So then she like goes towards the glass wall as these red suit guys are coming. Then she gets sucked in, and then she gasps. And then the credits roll. And I was just like, did she make it back to modern time? I don't know.
So you have to think of your own ending that she made it back to modern times.
I'm just like, what the- I even like scrolled through the credits to see if there was any additional
after
scene.
thing. Yeah.
No. So yeah, there you go.
So you like wasted 2 hours and you don't get the answer that you're looking for.
Oh, that sucks.
So there you go. Yep. So Olivia Wilde was the director. She played Bunny. She was also the producer. So she had her hand in a lot of the stuff. So anyways,
So did Harry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is what this movie is about. It just kind of ends. So I guess you assume she's having a happy ending.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Yeah, so the only reason why I knew about this movie at all
Yes.
is because of the Chris Pine spit incident.
Oh, I didn't even know about that incident.
And
The
that-
reason why I knew about this movie is because of all the drama from Olivia Wilde.
Yes. Let's get into the drama very
Alrighty.
quickly.
Yes.
Well, I shall
We got-
present the screen.
Okay. Okay, share screen.
Share screen.
There you go.
Here we go.
Okay.
So this is a People magazine.
Yeah. So many things happened that it was very difficult to really capture it all. So, but People magazine did the work for us.
There you
So
go.
That's right. Thank you.
Kudos, people.
Do you want to read it?
Are you cool with me reading it? or
Yeah,
do you wanna
absolutely.
read it?
No.
Okay. So it is a complete timeline of the Don't Worry, Darling drama. Here is a complete breakdown of the saga surrounding Olivia Wilde's new movie, Don't Worry, Darling, from Shia LaBeouf's casting shakeup to her romance with Harry Styles. So didn't even know about that. So Olivia Wilde's psychological thriller, Don't Worry, Darling, has generated headlines from the moment it was announced in July 2019. The film, which hit theaters on September 23rd, has all the hallmarks of a highly anticipated release, including an A-list cast, buzzy director, and eerie, teasing trailers. However, the project's behind-the-scenes drama has drummed up just as much intrigue and mystery as the plot itself.
Yeah.
A source told People on September 6th that the controversy surrounding the film has been tough to navigate with a smile. The insider added that the situation is unfortunate because everyone went into the movie with the best intentions.
Yeah.
The film is Wilde's second directorial debut after 2019's Booksmart, and the actress turned director has been open about the pressure she faces with her sophomore movie. It's harder for women to get a second chance at directing. Fewer people will invest in a second film of a woman than a man, which is true.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
That's true.
Instead of sticking with another comedy, Wilde decided to take a risk with a thriller set in a utopian 1950s town called Victory. Life is perfect and every resident's needs are met by the company. All they ask in return is unquestioning commitment to the victory cause, reads the synopsis of the film. But when cracks in their idyllic life begin to appear, exposing flashes of something much more sinister lurking beneath the attractive facade, Alice can't help but question what they're doing in Victory and why. And how much is Alice willing to lose to expose what's really going on in paradise? Wilde cast Midsummer's star Florence Pugh.
Yeah, it's hard to say her
maybe
last
Poe?
name.
I don't know. As the lead character, Alice, while Shia LaBeouf was originally set to play the supporting role of Alice's husband, Jack. In September 2020, however, it was announced that LaBeouf had departed the film and Harry Styles had signed on in his place. From casting shakeups to an on-set romance, the film kept movie fans and social media spectators abuzz in the months leading up to its release. Here is a complete breakdown of the Don't Worry, Darling drama. July 2019, Don't Worry, Darling is announced. The world first learned of Wilde's latest film in July 2019 when the script sparked a bidding war between 18 different movie studios and streaming services. New Line eventually won the auction in August, and Wilde later told Variety she turned down larger offers from other studios because New Line promised her a theatrical release in writing.
Oh.
At the time, Wilde was set to both direct and star in the psychological thriller. April 2020, Shia LaBeouf and Florence are announced as the film leads. Wilde's all-star cast was announced in April 2020. Florence was cast as the lead. LaBeouf and Chris Pine were set to take on major supporting roles. The cast is BANANAS. I'm the happiest director in the world. To say that I am honored, excited, elated, shit myself would be a massive understatement. Wild tweeted about the news.
I think it's Poe.
Poe?
I don't know.
Pug?
Probably.
Also reacted to the casting on Instagram, sharing a screenshot of the announcement along with a tribute to Wilde. Olivia Wilde just tagged me in a picture. Gasp #1. Olivia cast me in a film. Gasp #2. She wrote before calling Wilde her idol and saying she couldn't wait to join the project.
All sounds great.
All right, sounds good. Good
go
start.
on.
Yeah.
September 11, 2020, Harry Styles takes over for Shia LaBeouf. It was announced that Styles had signed on. At the time, Deadline reported LaBeouf had exited the project due to a scheduling conflict.
That's what actors say to be nice.
Yes.
So usually
This is also COVID times too. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true, yeah.
November 2020, Olivia Wilde said she did a little victory dance when Harry signed on for the film. Wilde made her excitement over the film's new lead actor clear in November 2020. In Styles' cover story for Vogue, she explained that her and costume designer Ariane Phillips were so thrilled when the Watermelon Sugar singer landed the project. She and I did a little victory dance when we heard that we officially had Harry in the film because we knew he had a real appreciation for fashion and style. Which is true, I guess.
Yeah.
Wilde said of hers and Phillips' reaction, and this movie is incredibly stylistic. He's very heightened and opulent, and I'm really grateful that he's so enthusiastic about the element of the process. Some actors just don't care. Makes sense.
Interesting.
December 24th, 2020, people confirm that...
Are you able to close that? Is that
what?
possible? Yeah, close that. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
That Wilde had fired LaBeouf from Don't Worry, Darling, despite previous reports that the actor left due to a scheduling conflict. Variety first reported the firing revelation in an article on LaBeouf's career following the lawsuit of his ex-girlfriend, FKA Twigs, born Talila Barnett, filed against him. Barnett accused the actor of sexually and physically assaulting and battering her. And knowingly giving her a sexually transmitted disease.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
In December 11th, 2020. While LaBeouf previously denied each and every assault allegation, he later addressed the accusations without naming Barnett directly. I hurt that woman, LaBeouf said in a podcast. And in the process of doing that, I hurt many other people and many other people before that woman. I was a pleasure-seeking, selfish, self-centered, dishonest, inconsiderate, fearful human being. According to Variety, insiders close to Don't Worry, Darling, said LaBeouf exhibited poor behavior and his style clashed with cast and crew, including Wilde, who ultimately fired him.
Makes
sense.
Okay.
Another child star that's fun.
Yeah.
All right, January 5th, Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles are photographed holding hands.
Oh, no.
Ooh, romance.
In early 2021, they're 10 years apart, by the way.
And she is married with children.
Yep. Wilde and Styles sparked dating rumors when they were photographed holding hands while attending a wedding together. A source told People at the time the pair had been dating for a few weeks after they first connected during filming. Another insider told People that their chemistry was very obvious on set. What started out as a close friendship quickly turned romantic, the source said. Everyone saw it coming. During breaks, he hasn't been able to stay away and visited her trailer. The outing came just weeks after People reported that Wilde had split from her longtime partner, Jason Sudeikis, in early 2020. And that was an interesting thing with he had she got served papers while she was at a Comic-Con and stuff.
Yes. And they only serve papers, I guess, if you're not around other places, at your home.
Yeah.
Well, Jason Sudeikis, what is
he's that Ted Lasso.
Who?
Yeah, you know him. He's in a bunch of things. Was he in
Who is Jason Sudeikis?
I think he was in not Bridesmaids. What's the boy version of that?
American actor, producer, and writer. He was he worked at Second City.
No, I'm pretty sure he's in that other movie.
Oh,
he's we're the Millers. Remember that with Jennifer Aniston?
Okay, yeah.
He's
He's kind of like a normal face man.
Normal face man.
Nothing of
Normal face man.
Okay,
that's amazing.
Let's keep reading, shall we? February 4th, 2021. Olivia Wilde says she has a no ass policy. No ass HOLE.
Asshole.
After firing Shia LaBeouf. Few months after it was revealed that Wilde had fired LaBeouf from the film due to poor behavior, the director elaborated her #1 rule when it comes to set. There is a no asshole policy. It puts everyone on the same level, Wilde explained while appearing in the directors in Variety's Directors on Director series. I also noticed that as an actress, her use how the hierarchy of the set separated the actors from the crew in this very strange way that serves no one. That is true. I think actors would like to know more, like what's happening when you're pulling my focus. Is that a lens change? But the idea of don't bother the actors and keep them separate, don't look at them, I think it makes everyone quite anxious. Yeah,
Makes
I agree.
sense. Yep.
Yeah.
He was also on SNL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
February 15, 2021. Don't Worry, Darling filming wraps. To celebrate the end of filming, the movie's cast and crew posed for a group photo shared February 15, 2021. In the snap, Styles wrapped his arms around Wilde while they smiled next to their co-stars. All the people. She marked the end of the shoot with her own Instagram by sharing tributes to the cast. She praised Styles in the caption, the photo of him sitting in a classic car, writing in part, "Not only did he relish the opportunity to allow for the brilliant Florence to hold center stage as our Alice, but he infused every scene with a nuanced sense of humanity. He didn't have to join our circus. He jumped on board with humility and grace and blew us away every day with his talent, warmth, and ability to drive backwards."
I mean, that is a talent.
I don't have that talent.
Yeah, no, Kenny can do that. I can't. Yeah.
All right, December 2021. Olivia Wilde discussed highlighting female pleasure in the film. So this is where I started hearing this shit about this movie. So
Okay.
So this is like a bad thing to promote from movie for or with.
Yeah. So it is. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
So while appearing on the cover of Vogue January 2022 issue, Wilde said that she was inspired by really sexy films like Fatal Attraction and Indecent Proposal while working on Don't Worry, Darling. I kept saying, why isn't there good sex in film anymore? She explained, adding that one of her goals was for the audience to realize how rarely they see female hunger, and specifically this type of female pleasure. Wilde also revealed that Styles had made her shortlist for the role of Jack when she first started casting, but the singer's tour conflicted with filming. However, he left the band. However, Styles' plans were canceled due to the pandemic, which made him an obvious choice to fill in for LaBeouf.
Oh, there you go.
Interesting.
Here we go. April 27th, 2022. Olivia Wilde is served custody papers while promoting Don't Worry, Darling at CinemaCon.
Oof.
Wilde attended CinemaCon in Las Vegas in April 2020 to promote the upcoming thriller 2022 and shared the first trailer. While on stage discussing the project, she was given an envelope marked personal and confidential by a woman in the audience. After remarking that the envelope seemed very mysterious, Wilde said she was going to open it now because it feels like it's a script. Then she continued, "Okay, got it, thank you," before going on with her presentation. It was later revealed the envelope contained legal papers served by her ex, Seducus, regarding their 2 children.
Awkward.
July 21, 2022, Olivia Wilde praises Florence on Instagram. She posted a tribute to her Don't Worry, Darling lead on Instagram alongside a snap of her watching one of her takes on the set. "Watching this woman work was such a fucking thrill. Cannot wait to show you more." I don't know how that's drama. August 16th, 2022. Florence says Don't Worry, Darling shouldn't be reduced to sex scenes.
Sorry, scroll up for a second. I know how that one is drama. Because this lady, the director, Olivia Wilde, kept kept tagging Florence and stuff, and Florence was not reacting, and she was sharing all her other things that she's working on, but wouldn't talk about this film. And everyone's like, "Oh, the drama, the tea." So that's kind of what that means. Okay. So Florence says, "Don't Worry, Darling shouldn't be reduced to sex scenes." After the film's first 2 trailers dropped, fans immediately began buzzing about the chemistry between Styles and Puh's characters. The teasers featured 2 moments where Styles' character Jack appears to perform oral sex on her character Alice. She reacted to the buzz during an interview on Harper's Bazaar and said the film is deserving of attention beyond the intimate scenes with Styles. When it's reduced to sex scenes, or just to watch the most famous man in the world go down on someone, it's not why we do it. She told the publication, "That's not why I'm in this industry." Obviously, the nature of hiring the most famous pop star in the world, you're going to have conversations like that, she added. That's just not what I'm going to be discussing because this movie is bigger and better than that. And people who made it are bigger and better than that. It's very
Which is a fair point. Yeah. Valid, all valid.
Valid point, though, because again, it's only 2 or 3 spots in the film. There's a whole bunch of other shit going on in this movie. So August 24th, 2022, Olivia Wilde calls Florence extraordinary and shuts down clickbait rumors. For her Variety cover story, Wilde discussed her decision to cast as the film's lead instead of taking the role herself as she initially planned. I've been blown the fuck away by her. I love the film, but I loved her. I was just like, well, she's extraordinary. She's clearly the most exciting young actress working today. She added, there's something about youthfulness, the innocence that really made sense for the story. If I was Alice, I was like, well, I'm going to be with Jack, who's my age or older, and now we're in a different age bracket. The director also addressed rumors that Stiles was paid 3 times more than her, calling that narrative clickbait. There has been a lot out lately that I largely don't pay attention to, but the absurdity of invented clickbait and the subsequent reaction regarding a non-existent pay disparity between our lead and supporting actors really upset me, she told the publication. In addition to the pay disparity rumors, fans have been speculating about a possible feud between Wilde and Florence after the Little Women's actress didn't share or react to a few of Wilde's Instagram posts about the film, including a tribute she posted in July. Florence shared a post about the film on her own Instagram on August 11th. Wilde didn't respond to the speculation directly, but shares that she feels the tabloid media is a tool to pit women against one another and to shame them.
Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, sussy.
August 24th, Olivia Wilde says she fired Shia LaBeouf to protect the set from combative energy. In the same interview, she also discussed her decision to fire LaBeouf from the project for the first time. I say this as someone who has such an admirer of his work, she told the publication. His process was not conducive to the ethos that I demand in my productions. He has a process that in some ways seems to require a combative energy, and I personally don't believe that is conducive to the best performances. She continued, I believe that creating a safe and trusting environment is the best way to get people to do their work. Ultimately, my responsibility is to the production and the cast to protect them. That was my job. Wilde also spoke about the allegations of abuse against LaBeouf that arose months after her decision. A lot came to life after this happened, and that really troubled me in terms of his behavior. I find myself just wishing him health and evolution because I believe in restorative justice. But for our film, she went on, what we really needed was an energy that was incredibly supportive, particularly a film like this. I knew that I was going to be asking Florence to be in a very vulnerable situations, and my priority was making her feel safe and making her feel supported. Lydia?
Oh, August 26, 2022. Shia LaBeouf denies Olivia Wilde's claim that he was fired. Days after Wilde's Variety story was released, LaBeouf denied the director's claim that she had fired him from the film. In an email to Variety, the actor responded to Wilde's comment, claiming he actually quit the film due to lack of rehearsal time. He also provided the magazine with an email he had sent to Wilde in response to her interview, which Variety published in full. You and I both know the reason for my exit. I quit your film because your actors and I couldn't find time to rehearse, or both wrote to Wilde. LaBeouf also reportedly sent the publication text messages and video that Wilde allegedly sent him 2 days after he quit the project in August 2020. I feel like I'm not ready to give up on this just yet, and I'm too heartbroken and want to figure this out, Wilde said in the video, according to Variety. You know, I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call from its flow, and I want you to know if you're open to giving this a shot with us. If she really commits, she really puts in her mind and her heart into this point, and if you guys can make peace, I respect your point of view, I respect hers, but if you guys can do it, what do you think? Is there hope? Will you let me know? In his email to Wilde, LaBeouf pleaded with her to set the record straight about how he exited the film. I know you're beginning your press run for Don't Worry, Darling, and that the news of my firing is attractive clickbait, as I am still a persona non grata and may remain as such for the rest of my life, he wrote. But speaking of my daughter, I often think about the news articles she will read when she is literate. And I thought I owe, and I will owe for the rest of my life, I only owe for my actions. He concluded the email, firing me never took place, Olivia. And while I fully understand the attractiveness of pushing that story because of the current social landscape, the social currency that it brings, it's not the truth. I'm humbly asking, as a person with an eye towards making things right, that you correct this narrative as best you can. I hope none of this negatively affects you and that your film is successful in all the ways you want it to be. All right, so
September 5th,
Okay,
Florence skips Don't Worry, Darling press at the Venice Film Festival, where Olivia Wilde sidesteps questions.
Oh, no.
How could this happen?
Ahead of the Venice Film Festival premiere of Don't Worry, Darling, Poe was consciously absent for the film's photo call and press, though she still planned to walk the red carpet, according to Variety. The source tells Dune Part 2 set told people that she is flying straight from Venice and filming Dune Landing after the press conference. Reporters during the press conference noted Poe's absence and asked Wilde if there was any truth to rumors of falling out. Florence is a force, and we are so grateful she's able to make it tonight, despite being in the production of Dune. I know as a director how disruptive it is to lose an actor, even for a day. So I'm grateful to her for Dennis Villeneuve. We're thrilled to get and celebrate her work tonight. I can't say enough about how honored I am to have her as a lead. She's amazing in the film, Wilde responded. As for all endless tabloid gossip and all the noise out there, I mean, the internet feeds itself, she continued. I don't feel the need to contribute. It's sufficiently well nourished. While another reporter followed up on the noise, specifically regarding LaBeouf's exit from the film, moderator shut down the questions and moved on.
Whoa. September 5th, Florence and Olivia posed for a cast photo on the red carpet.
Okay.
Hours after Wilde sidestepped a question about the alleged falling out, the two posed for a photo op along other co-stars. They did not stand next to each other on red carpet, and she playfully interacted with Kroll and Pine as she posted her photos. Florence's stylist appeared to wink at the drama by capturing the photos of her on the carpet. Miss Flo, the name Wilde had used in a leaked video from LaBeouf. Fans dissect a viral clip of Harry Styles and Chris Pine at the premiere.
Oh, yeah, this is a spit take. Okay. All right. All eyes are on the cast as they headed to the film's premiere, with fans and critics dissecting videos and photos from the screening for potential signs of conflict. The internet was abuzz after a clip began circulating of Styles taking a seat next to Pine, with some users theorizing that the Watermelon Sugar singer spit on the actor as he sat down. A rep for Pine told people that claims were ridiculous and complete fabrication. Just to be clear, Harry Styles did not spit on Chris Pine, the rep said. There is nothing but respect between these two men, and any suggestions otherwise is a blatant attempt to create drama that simply does not exist.
That doesn't even make sense, though, because what is it? Why would he be mad at this guy?
Because it's not really explained. Wilde and Pa also shared a sweet moment at the screening. In a clip shared on the Don't Worry Darling official Instagram, Pa was seen leaning over her co-stars to clap in the direction of Wilde, who reciprocated the gesture with seemingly locked eyes as they both smiled.
September 7th, Florence congratulated everyone standing on the carpet after the Venice premiere. A few days, she posted things, taking it all in. Massive congratulations. She shouted out to people. It's okay. September 8th, Olivia Wilde doubles down on her claim that she fired LaBeouf. So she says, my responsibility towards Florence, I was like a mother wolf. Making that call was tricky, but in a way he understood. I don't think it would have been a process he enjoyed. He comes at his work with an intensity that can be combative. It wasn't the East, though, so I demanded. She said the same stuff already.
Oh, that's all right. Okay,
yeah.
Fine.
Okay. His exit was much more nuanced than could be explained in just private text released out of context. All I can say is that he was replaced. There's no going forward with him. I wish him all the best in his recovery. In the same interview, she shuts down rumors that she left her ex-fiance to date Styles. That's complete horseshit idea that I left Jason for Harry is completely inaccurate. Our relationship was over long before I met Harry. Olivia, so September 8th, Olivia says her and Florence worked very well together. Her performance is outstanding. It's baffling to me the media would rather focus on baseless rumors and gossip. She deserves more than that, as does this movie and everybody who worked on it. Florence is one of the most in-demand actresses in the universe. I gather that some people expect her to be engaging more on social media. I didn't hire her to post. I hired her to act. She fulfilled every expectation I had of her. That is all that matters. The idea that I had 5 seconds of the day to be distracted by anything is laughable. I was there before everyone. I was there after everyone. It was a dream. It's not like this work is not enjoyable. It's all encompassing. Okay. So then the September 19th, Olivia and Harry attend a screening in New York City. They pose separately for photographs. So a bunch of them weren't there. The 21st, Olivia clears up the Spitgate rumors on the Stephen Colbert show. Spitgate, which you might have heard about, is a perfect example. Like, people will look for drama anywhere they can. Harry did not spit on Chris. And then about the LaBeouf thing. Early on in the process of making the film, as a director, I tried to mediate a situation between people to try to see if they could work together happily. Once it became clear it was not a teachable, tenable working relationship, I was given an ultimatum. I chose my actress, and I'm happy that I did.
Or LaBeouf.
Buff gave her the ultimatum. She said, it's a question of semantics, if he quit or not. Or if he was fired, I'm not going to move forward in any way he wanted to, so he had to leave. September 23rd, Olivia posts a photo with Harry and Florence to celebrate the release. She's so grateful, blah, blah, blah. September 24th, the crew disputes rumors of on-set drama between Olivia and Florence.
That's very interesting.
Oh, a screaming
They reported
match.
there was a screaming match on set. The crew provided an exclusive statement. As crew, we've avoided addressing the absurd gossip surrounding the movie we're so proud of, but feel the need to correct the anonymous sources quoted in the article. Any allegations about unprofessional behavior on the set are completely false. They went on to call Wilde an incredible leader and noted that there was never a screaming match between our director or anyone, let alone a member of our cast. October 13th, Olivia now agrees with Florence that the sex scenes overshadowed the films.
Even though that was her biggest selling feature.
It's interesting because Florence was very wisely pointed out that a lot of the attention has been given to the sex scenes. And I think she's so right. I completely agree with her that it's overshadowing everything else the movie is about, which is so interestingly ironic because one of the uses of sex in Victory, the fictional location, is a tool of distraction. When Florence pointed out the film was so much bigger and better than just the sex scenes, I was so happy she said that because I feel the same way. As for ongoing speculations behind ongoing rumors, it's shocking to see so many untruths about yourself traded as a fact. Florence is really wise comment, and we didn't sign up for a reality show.
Yeah, so that's the end of the drama.
There you go.
It's inconclusive.
And then as of yesterday, when we recorded this, Wilde and Harry Styles have now broken up. Because the movie's going on tour and stuff, and she needs to spend time with her kids. People on the internet are having interesting thing with that, but you know what? Who knows? Whatever.
And apparently, this movie is doing very well. So I think the budget was 23 million, and apparently they've already made 80 million.
Okay,
all right. So
that's what I read. I read it right, but
it has a good, it has a nice look. It's a well done movie, and Harry actually does a really good job in it. He plays Harry, I think he did a really good job.
I thought so too.
Oscar worthy, you know, they like weird movies.
I don't know
about Oscar worthy, but he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, so I feel like the cast they worked well together. So
Yeah,
it seemed to be whatever. So
it's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
This podcast is shorter than the movie, so watch this podcast.
Yes, there you go.
Yes,
anyway,
right.
There you go. Some people like it, some people hate it. It was okay.
It was It is what it is, basically.
Yeah. So kudos if you want us to watch Harry's other movie, or if you know of any other boy band movies where a boy bander plays like a prominent character in the movie, and you want us to review it, let us know. We would be glad to look it up.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes, so there you go. So let us know in the comments.
You want me to close up?
Sure, buddy.
Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.